So that's one of the tracks which they managed to record in our first ever BBC Introducing session for this show, at least, down here at the Maida Vale Studios. It's The Severed Limb, and another track from them to come shortly. And I was just mentioning, actually, while that track was playing, my next door neighbour Anton saw you busking last week. I didn't ask him whether he'd given you any money. Thought that might be a bit rude. But you were busking somewhere different. You usually busk in Borough Market on a Friday.
Yeah, usually down Borough on a Friday. It's busy down there, but we were down on Mother's Day, Columbia Road Market, which is a big flower market in London, and everyone was down there buying sort of roses for their mum and everything. It was a good day to be out busking.
Yeah. Was there a lot of loose change flying around?
Yeah, made quite a bit of money that day.
Enough to buy some flowers.
Well, no, I ordered my mum flowers from Interflora online. I got the wrong week. I did it the week before. And she phoned me up and said, "Thanks for the flowers." And it's a bit like, "What are they for?" I was like, "Oh,
just getting in early."
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we should count ourselves lucky you're here on the right day.
Yeah.
As it goes.
Last week.
Now, I guess we should do a bit of history of how you met and how long the band's been going. I don't know who wants to do the potted history in 60 seconds. The entire history of the Severed Limb.
Well, we were in Charlie's pub. Charlie's our drummer. And me and Leo were sat at the bar, and Lonnie Donegan came on the jukebox, and I sort of said, "Oh, I love Lonnie Donegan." And Leo said, "Yeah, me too. It's Lost John." I couldn't believe he'd actually heard of him. Yeah. And me and Charlie had wanted to start a band for a while, and I said, we should start a skiffle band. You come on Washboard. So we played a few gigs together, just the three of us, and it was all right. And then we had a gig with Imelda May, and we didn't have any. We used to have a T-chest bass and get audience members to play with us on stage, but we grabbed somebody on bass. I can't remember who we even had. And after that, we were so shambolic, but we were quite good in a really, really shambolic way. And she asked us back, and we thought, we've got to get some proper members. So Sam played. His first gig was at Coco. He was on guitar, and in front of about 1,000 people, and he did well. And then we just picked up Alex, who plays accordion. We played a gig with him. He organised a gig down at Bethnal Green Working Men's Club.
I saw them on MySpace, and then I thought,
did you?
This would be a good band to book for the night that I was doing.
Yeah.
And then, soon after, he said, "Oh, do you want to play accordion in the band?" And I thought, I've never heard a skiffle band with accordion, but I was very I'll try my best and see what happens.
Well, this is the interesting thing. Well, 2 points out of this, really, because it's amazing that you found anyone in a way, isn't it? Because it's a lot harder, I imagine, finding members for a band like this than it is to find members for your average indie band around at the moment, because it would take a specific sort of understanding of the sound to work in this band. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Although there are a lot of people enthusiastic about it, and they find you and they come up and say, "Oh, do you want a drummer?" And we say, "Well, we've got a drummer," but because that's how we picked up more people. Because we don't think we originally wanted lots of people, because you get less money, than what. But when Alex sort of played the accordion, it was like, "Oh yeah," and then Simon on double bass, it just had to have it.
So you've become turned into some sort of weird Pied Piper of skiffle.
Yeah.
As you walk around, more and more people are following you.
Yeah.
As the days go by. Were you brought up on this music? Was it something or was it a music that you found later on in your teens? I mean, was there music around the house? Was it the music of your parents or anything?
No, it wasn't. I saw Lonnie Donegan at Glastonbury in 1999, and I saw two people. I saw him and Joe Strummer. I was like, wow. It sort of seemed to be, even though they were different, it was like they were both rock and roll, and I thought, I couldn't believe. I asked my mum, have you heard of Lonnie Donegan? She said, yeah, he was as big as Elvis. I couldn't believe it, because we hadn't heard of him. Why haven't we heard of him? But then, so it was just, I listened to the music, and it was just great. It was like the original punk, the original British rock and roll.
Well, anyone could do it. That was the idea, wasn't it? There were thousands of skiffle bands. Even my dad, who can't play a musical note, was in a skiffle band at that time.
Yeah, which is kind of what it's all about. It's the energy of it, and it's so much like punk, the story of it, that it's very appealing.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is, and I think what you've managed to do, but here's the challenge really, is to take to be respectful to the music and the roots of the music, but at the same time update it and make it sort of so it sounds relevant again now. Do you see what I mean? I think that's the challenge really, in a way.
Yeah, because there are. I thought when we started the skiffle band, I thought, well, the good thing about this, there won't be any purists. There won't be any people who come up and say, what kind of washboard do you use and that sort of thing. But believe it or not, there are, and which is good. That's great. But I just, we wanted to write our own songs about what we experience and what our lives are like a little bit, and also just it's quite hard to play.
Get things off your chest.
Yeah, exactly. Get things off your chest, things you want to say.
T-chest in some cases.
Yeah, get it.
I'm
That's a good
coming
one. Yeah, and it's just, if you're writing your own stuff, it's impossible really not to sort of make it relevant to your life.
And the kit that we're using, is this an original washboard? Where does this come from? Where did you pick this up?
It's been pieced together. It was an ornamental one, and then I bought this other one off eBay.
Right.
That was a proper one, and I sort of attached the old bit of metal onto this ornamental one.
Right.
Because the other one sort of
Yeah.
get
You had to
destroyed
take
quite
off the
quickly.
hooks, didn't you?
And do you need an extra big van for the double bass and everything? You can't go in an estate car like some kids do.
Yeah, I've got a trolley.
Yeah.
And your EP, which is out now, do buy it. It's a very fine piece of work. Was recorded where?
We recorded it, most of the tracks in my living room.
So it's a bit different to today.
Yeah, a little bit. It's it's good to do it because I live on Walworth Road, and that's what the songs were about. And if you listen carefully, there's like police sirens in the background,
Yeah,
and that kind of thing, and sort of well, I don't know. The better sirens are always the ambulance ones. They're always louder. The fire engines, yeah.
Got to time it right to
Connoisseur.
get
Say,
the
excuse me, can you drive past here because we're recording? It'll sound really authentic if we.
Connoisseur of sirens.
Yeah.
There was an American band, I'm not sure if I told this story before, but there's an American band called New Bad Things, and at their album you can actually hear the banging at the door of the police who turned up following complaints by their next door neighbours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and somebody actually shouts, "Cop!" really loud during one of the takes. Anyway, listen, it's slightly more glamorous, I think. Maybe not so homely, but slightly more glamorous than the front room, and I'll leave you to get on with recording the rest of the session, but thank you so much for doing this. The Severed Limb, and this is another tune from them on Six Music.